Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. As some of you know, 2 weeks ago I made a video where I broke down the Sith code. In today's video, I'm going to also talk about the dark side, more specifically dark side transformations. Over the centuries, many Jedi have fallen to the dark side. Even the most dedicated light side Force user can still fall to the dark side and become a Sith. How does this happen, and can one be redeemed after this experience? Those were the questions that a Jedi Master named Tolaris Shim was asked to write about in an in-universe document called The Four Stages of the Dark Side. This document, or recording, was made after the Jedi Ulic Qel-Droma turned to the dark side and joined a Sith named Exar Kun. While he eventually did betray Exar Kun, many wondered how such a dedicated Jedi could be swayed by the dark side. In this recording, Master Shim went over what they thought the four stages of the dark side were. So what I'm going to do in this video is break down each of the four stages using Anakin Skywalker's transition from Jedi to Sith as an example of what Tolaris Shim is saying. Okay, so the first stage according to Tolaris Shim is temptation. Every Jedi possesses the Force and at one point or another has been tempted to use the Force for evil or to use a dark side ability. Sometimes it's done out of anger and sometimes it's done out of haste and wanting to end a situation quickly without thinking and without patience. There are a ton of examples that could be used when talking about Anakin Skywalker. One of which is at the beginning of Attack of the Clones when Anakin is too eager to discover who Padme's attacker is. He rushed into the situation without thinking, wanting to defy the Council and Obi-Wan. He also was tempted by the dark side after the death of his mother by Tusken Raiders. He used the dark side to murder the Tuskens, men, women, and children. The pain of his mother's death caused him to give in to his anger, and in doing so, give in to the temptation and lure of the dark side. Another example is when he rushed into his fight when encountering Dooku at the end of Attack of the Clones. His anger got the best of him and he wanted to take revenge for the Jedi that were dead. Which might at first seem like a noble reason, however this was the early stages of the dark side. Every Jedi has a point in their life when they are tempted with the dark side. No one is safe from being tempted, however those with strong wills are able to resist. The second stage is imperilment. Tolaris Shim states that while a Jedi should not be indecisive, they should never take a detour down a dark path and expect a guidepost that will bring them back to the light. Master Shim goes on to say that if a Jedi obsesses over doing the right thing, no matter what the cost might be, and still thinks that they can stay on the light side despite having used the dark side, they are typically wrong. Oftentimes, Jedi who use the dark side are impaired to remain or revisit the dark path. Using the dark side, even for the right reasons, can have dire consequences. If you look at the dark side as an easy path, eventually you will become trapped. The more times that you use the dark side, the less likely you are to not be concerned with progressing to the next steps. In Revenge of the Sith, Anakin is willing to use the dark side to help save Padme's life. He had taken many shortcuts over the years, a big one recently when he killed Dooku, which led him down the path of the dark side. Luke Skywalker actually has a great quote that I think sums this up. There are times where the ends justify the means, but when you build an argument based on a whole series of such times, you may find that you've constructed an entire philosophy of evil. Now, while Luke isn't referring to using the dark side, I think the same principle applies. Shortcuts, like using the dark side, might at first seem harmless, but eventually can lead you down a dark and evil path. The third stage is submission. If you compromise enough, eventually you will submit fully to the dark side. In Master Shim's words, once you accept the dark path, you may no longer believe that there is a need to justify your actions. Shim says that during this stage there's still a chance to be saved and turn back to the light, which we've seen before with Luke and Dark Empire. However, Shim warns, if you find it exhilarating to give yourself fully to the dark side, then you are a Dark Jedi, or Sith in Anakin's case. At this point, Shim says that it's the responsibility of those closest to you to either stop you or bring you back to the light. Anakin fully submitted to the dark side after murdering Jedi at the temple and choking Padme. Neither Obi-Wan nor Padme were able to turn him back to the light, so Obi-Wan attempted to stop him. The last stage of the dark side is atonement or redemption. Tolaris Shim believed that while a Jedi who used the dark side could meditate and reflect on what they've done, a Jedi who crossed the line and became a dark Jedi could not atone for what they've done. However, Tolaris Shim believed that they could potentially find redemption by performing selfless acts without using the dark side. We saw this with Vader when he killed Palpatine on board the Death Star. Vader, who didn't believe that he could be saved and was too far gone, was able to redeem himself after over 2 decades of serving the dark side. So that is the 4 stages of the dark side as shared with us by Tolaris Shim. I think it's an interesting exploration of dark side transformations. While I think that many Jedi have their own unique reasons for becoming Sith or Dark Jedi, I think that these 4 stages apply to most as shown with Anakin Skywalker. But what do you guys think of the 4 stages? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope it was insightful. May the Force be with you all, and I hope you all have a great day.